The universe always says yes, but it's responding to our frequency, not to our words. In fact, the universe doesn't speak English or Spanish or Portuguese, it speaks frequency. So that's why you may have heard that you have to already believe that you received it in order to get it. That's because when you already believe that you already received your manifestation, you are vibrating at the frequency of already having it, and the universe is responding to that frequency that says, I already have it. But when you're asking for something while vibrating at the opposite frequency, let's say you're asking for a car while you are in your mind being like, I will never have a car, it is impossible, money is so hard to get, I'm so poor me, I'm a victim of my circumstances, and it is my parents' fault, and it's my boss' fault, and it is the government fault, and you are focusing on blaming and excuses, victim mentality, then you are going to get a yes from the universe, but a yes to that victim frequency, not to the frequency of having it. So today, I am bringing you a super improvised class on step by step how to align your frequency with the universal frequency of I already have it. Okay, and we're gonna do this while we drink some mate. If you don't know what mate is a tea that we drink in my country. It's like, if you know Lionel Messi, I'm speaking about soccer. If you know Lionel Messi, he's always drinking something that looks like this, but fancier. Okay, that's mate. It's a green tea that we drink from a gourd and a straw. It's a caffeinated drink, and we drink it all day in my country. It's delicious, and yeah, try it. Okay, so I have a step by step. The first step to manifest, whether it's a car or a new life, is to stop reacting. Stop reacting to what? To your 3D. When I say your 3D, what I mean is your life, your circumstances, okay? What you're looking at and you can perceive with your five senses, what you can see, touch, smell, okay? Your everyday life. You have to stop reacting to what's happening to you. Why? Because you have to understand that your reality is like a mirror, okay? It's a mirror of your life. Think about a mirror, you have an image and you have a reflection, right? So the image is your mentality, your mind, and the reflection is your life. This means that your mind is the cause and your life is an effect. This means the internal is the cause and the external is the effect. Now, if this is happening first and your life is happening as a result of what's in your mind, when you allow your life to determine how you feel, then you will inevitably continue to create more of it, because my mind creates my life, and when I let my life affect how I feel and how I see my life, then I create more of it. That's why people will be in toxic relationships and they leave the toxic relationship, but they don't change their mind. So then they find themselves in another toxic relationship. Or they are in a job where they hate their boss and they leave jobs, they change the 3D, they change the effect, but they keep maintaining the same cause, which is their own mind, their mentality. So when you stop reacting to what you see in your life, when you stop letting your conditions, okay, your conditions affect how you feel, then what you do is you are breaking this cycle. Once I look at my life and instead of reacting, I just say, oh, okay, this is an effect of my past state of consciousness. Let me change my state of consciousness so that I change the effect. When I change the cause, my mind, I change the effect, my reality. then what you're doing is you're elevating yourself above the circumstances. And that's what life is. Life is a constant game of constantly leveling up, okay? What you have to think of your current life circumstances as your current level of the game, okay? Life is like a video game. Your life is not your life and poor you that you have this life. It's simply your level of the game. And I understand some people came with more privilege, some people came with no privilege at all, some people came with terrible circumstances, but you have to think of that as the level of the game that your soul chose to come here to play. For you don't know the reasons, and you don't need to know the reasons. Maybe your soul chose to come play this level of the game because of karma, maybe because it needed to learn about something. All of us come here because we need to learn about oneness, but that's a topic for another video. The point is, you have to understand that you are not a victim of your life. You are the creator, okay? And that's why you stop reacting. Once you realize, oh, I created these circumstances, whether it's before coming to Earth as a soul, signing a soul contract of, okay, I'm gonna go and I'm gonna face these life circumstances because those are the challenges that I need to go through. And I will have, this is important, I will have the free will on Earth. I will have the free will to see the lesson and learn it and level up to the next level of the game, or I will have the free will to just not see the lesson, think I'm a victim, and hit my head against the wall again and again and again, and maybe for a whole lifetime, and then reincarnate and face the same circumstances until I learn how to pass this level of the game. So in this sense, you become non-reactive because you will see that your problems, your challenges are like the dragon that you are fighting in some video game, right? Is the dragon a reason for you to start crying and whining and throwing up and complaining and blaming? No. It's your challenge that comes as an opportunity to level up. If there's no dragon, there's no next level. Every single obstacle that you face in that video game is an opportunity to pass to the next level. The same thing happens in life, and in the next level you will have challenges too. You will have dragons too, but it will also get more exciting, and you want to unlock that next level because there's better colors, better landscapes, whatever it is. I don't really play I don't play video games, but you know what I'm saying. So the key here is to understand the rules, because we came here to play this game of life, and nobody taught us the rules. Nobody told us, you are the creator, you are responsible, your thoughts are things, what you think manifests. Nobody told us that. So what did they teach us? They taught us scarcity, they taught us fear, they taught us hate, and all of that manifests. So first step is becoming non-reactive. You stop reacting to what you look at. You identify that what you're looking at is simply a creation that comes from your past states of consciousness, because you are not creating your reality immediately, just like this. It comes with some delay. You have to think about your life as a movie that was recorded in the past according to past thoughts, past states of consciousness, past feelings, past perspectives, past intentions, okay? So when you look at it, you have to identify it as being in black and white. It's like, oh, this reality, I don't like it, but it's already dead. Let me change my chip, change the programming so that I can change what I'm looking at. Okay, because you're not destined to this reality. You are programmed. You programmed it in the past. Think about when you watch TV and you're watching something you don't like. You don't start punching the TV or trying to put your hand inside of the TV to change what you're looking at. That would be trying to change your life from the 3D. Trying to change the conditions from the conditions. I don't like my job. I'm going to look for another 9 to 5 on LinkedIn. You cannot, this is Einstein said, you cannot you cannot solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that created it. Change jobs as much as you want, but as long as you don't change the chip, nothing will change. Okay? Same with your health status. Let's say that you have a health issue. How do you ask the universe to change that health issue? Because you need to understand, for the universe, for God, for divine intelligence, it's very easy to change that health condition. What you have to focus on changing the chip in your mind that's telling you that you can't heal. The chip in your mind that's telling you, oh, because my doctor said that it doesn't have a cure, it doesn't have a cure. Because my doctor said that I will have to take these pills for the rest of my life, I have to. Okay, if you choose to believe what the system is telling you, you will create a reality that matches what the system is telling you. Now, the moment you start believing in infinite intelligence and that you're the creator of your reality, and you say, no, I'm going to program my mind to heal, and I'm going to use the help of the universe, because you're co-creating your life with the universe. You're not alone, okay? So the moment you decide to do that, then you change the effect, okay? But if the cause remains the same, the effect remains the same. So again, first step is to stop reacting, is to look at your reality as a result of past states of consciousness that you can change. By changing your mind now, you can change your future, okay? You may not be able to change your conditions, but you can change your mind, which is creating your future conditions. So start changing your mind now. And here I'm going to teach you how. By the way, I have a whole playlist where I teach you precisely how to change your mind. It's called Change Your Mind and Manifest. I recommend that you watch all of those videos and take notes and study them, because changing your mind is kind of like going to the gym. It requires study, it requires discipline, okay? It requires daily work. So watch my playlist. All right, so you understood that you have to stop reacting to your life. And here, when you stop reacting, something that you're going to do is, when problems arise, you're going to not react to the problem. Before, you would have reacted to the problem like, oh no, this sucks, and poor me, and I'm never gonna solve this, and I need someone to help me. This is something that victims do. Let's look at this for a moment, because this is important. Like I'm telling you, we're still on point 1, okay? Stop reacting. Like I'm telling you, when you stop reacting, you are understanding that your reality is your responsibility, that you created it, and exactly like you created it, you can uncreate it and create something new. So part of this no longer reacting is understanding that you are not a victim. What do victims do? Victim mentality will keep you stuck and miserable. What do victims do? Victims complain. Victims blame others. Victims have excuses. Victims lie to themselves and to others, okay? When you are blaming your boss or your parents or your ex or your husband or the government or that person or your neighbor for your financial situation, you are in victim mentality. Because even if you are in a situation where the conditions make it look like someone else is guilty for your conditions, you created the conditions in which someone is victimizing you. Okay? Does this mean you're guilty? No. Guilt is a really low level frequency. We never operate from guilt in this channel. It is simply that you are responsible. Now, if you are very stuck in victim mentality, when you hear this, you are going to feel some rejection, some friction. You're going to be like, no, I am a victim because the system, and because this, and because that, and because you don't know my trauma. Listen. We all have trauma, we all have a past, and some of us have a way worse trauma than others. And your feelings are valid. I am not saying they are not. But what I want you to understand is that you are not your trauma, and that you have the free will to decide if you let your trauma define you or not, and define your life. And I am saying this for your own sake, not mine, because I am not going to be affected by this, by how you react to your trauma. What I am saying what I am saying to you is to empower you. Because the moment you rise above your trauma and realize that it happened for a reason, that you wouldn't be who you are now if it didn't happen, this doesn't mean if you were abused, you go and you thank the person who abused you. No. What I mean is, instead of identifying with your trauma, which is what many even social ideologies tell you to do, in my opinion, what you're going to do is you're going to use your trauma as a tool. Think about it. Okay, your trauma happened to you. This is your trauma. Okay, it happened to you. It happened to you. Now you can identify as, this is me. I am this trauma. Or you can be like, no, I'm this person and I am going to use this that happened to me as a tool to help the world and to make this drawing to help people. Because I am rising above my trauma and I am using it as a tool because it gave me insight, it made me who I am, and now from this place I can help more people because I know what it is like to be there. You see what I'm saying? You have the free will to choose what you do with your trauma. Okay, so instead of being in victim mentality where you stay stuck blaming others or finding excuses, victim mentality can even look like, oh, it's raining, so I'm not gonna go work out today. So you want to manifest a fit body or a healthy body, but you're finding excuses to no go work out. Or you want to manifest health, but you are insulting and getting upset every time you're stuck in traffic, complaining and complaining and complaining. Okay, I want you to realize that every single thought, intention, and action of yours manifests. They may not manifest immediately, but there's something called law of accumulation, and this operates individually and also collectively. Law of accumulation. So if you have one thought of, oh my God, my coworker is an asshole, I can't stand it, I can't stand them, that is not for you to be like, oh no, now I am manifesting more of that because I just complained, and you spiral down in guilt and shame. No, no. But you simply have to start being aware of where you are being a victim and say, no, stop, change. That's old me. Old me would have complained. New me is thankful. New me focuses on abundance. What you focus on expands, okay? So it is okay at the beginning as you are shifting into a new version of you. It is okay if the old you appears, as long as you're aware and you look at it and you're like, oh no, that's old me. New me doesn't find excuses and goes work out. And the moment you go and work out, even though it was raining, you're like so proud of yourself. And you know what that builds? That builds self-confidence, which builds self-esteem. Okay, so that's how you start shifting your reality, by your everyday thoughts, intentions, and actions. So first step, we said, stop reacting and leave victim mentality, step into creator mentality. All right. Second step is to have a clear vision, and this requires knowing yourself. What do I mean by this? Imagine I get in the GPS and I want to go and I don't tell it where to go. It can't tell me where I want to go because I'm not giving it straight the direction, okay? So the address. So you have to have a clear vision. You need to know where you're going because otherwise you're going to be like kind of like all over the place, okay? Decide where you want to be, what it is that you want. And this requires knowing yourself. Most people don't know themselves. Literally. Most people, most adults don't know themselves. They know their habits, but they don't know themselves, precisely because they are so covered with their own activities. People have a lot of pain, people have a lot of shadow, and they are constantly trying to cover it with activities, with social gatherings, with drugs, with TV, with video games, with stuff. And then they don't really know who they are because they spend no time alone with themselves. Quality time alone. I'm not saying time alone when you are drinking a beer and watching a soccer game or smoking a joint and watching Pixar, Disney movies. I'm talking about quality time alone of presence in silence. Okay, so try to spend time with yourself if you don't know what your vision is, and see, listen to your heart, to your soul, because your soul has a higher path for you. It has a path that it wants you to follow, where you're going to thrive and be the most evolved version of yourself. But you cannot know it when you are covered, and overwhelmed by things that are not you. So what I do highly recommend is eliminate distractions. Start making some time for you, okay? Start eliminating the things that are not you, which takes me to my next step number 3, which is identity shifting. This, as you can see, it's all related. Identity shifting is changing your self-concept. Once you defined your vision and you know who you want to be, what it is that you want to manifest, and how you want to feel, because that's important. If you, let's say you're like, well, I want to manifest a new job, but I don't know what that job will be. I don't know, I have no idea. Okay, that's okay, but you will know what conditions, what you want that job to look like, and you know how you want it to make you feel. For example, you may not know exactly what job you want to manifest, but you may know that you want to be your own boss. You may know that you want to be able to travel. You may know that you want to be able to help people. Okay, so you know what it looks like, and you know how you want it to make you feel. I want it to make me feel fulfilled, at peace, inspired, excited every day, in love with life, okay? So you do have that vision. Once you have that vision, identity shifting is, okay, you have to stop looking at yourself the way you've been looking at yourself. And you have to start looking at yourself as that ideal version of you, okay? So you have current you, and you have ideal you. Ideal you is the version of you that already has all those things that you want to manifest, that is already feeling the way you want to feel, and has that financial situation, that relationship, that body, that car, that house, whatever. So you need to understand that current you responds to your current self-concept. Your self-concept, the way you see yourself, literally creates your life. There's a book called Psycho-Cybernetics that talks about this. The way you see yourself, the way you think of yourself is how you end up showing up in the world. And then the world reacts to you according to that. Your self-concept is super important. If you see yourself as a winner, as someone who, no, I always win, I'm so lucky, that's your frequency. And the universe responds to your frequency. The universe doesn't respond to what you ask for. The universe doesn't speak English. It responds to your frequency. So if your frequency is like, you know what, I always win, then you will find yourself in situations where you win. If you see yourself as someone who is less than others and a loser, then that's how you're gonna show up. That's the energy you're gonna put in the table, bring into the table, you know? And then that's how others are going to see you, but that's only because you're acting accordingly. Your brain is always looking for proof, for like how do you say, confirmation of what it thinks it's true. So if your brain thinks money is hard to make, it will go out to life with the mission of finding proof that money is hard to make. So the same thing happens with your self-concept. When you see yourself as someone who is a victim, for example, your brain will go into life looking for proof that you're a victim. So someone said something and you are already thinking that they are against you and they hate you and they're so mean and whatever, and you are in constant friction with reality. Is it because reality sucks? No, it's because that's your self-concept. So identity shifting is about literally taking that identity level choice. You make the identity level choice of I am no longer this person. Like literally make a list of all the things you don't want to see yourself as anymore. And every day you wake up and you remind yourself, I am making the identity level choice of being this ideal version of me. So use your clear vision to make a list of all the things that you do want to be. Okay, I am a fit person. What does a fit person do? They eat well, they go to a gym every day. So when you wake up and your old self is saying, no, let's get McDonald's for breakfast, you say, no, I am making the identity level choice of being a fit person. So I'm going to think and I'm going to feel and I'm going to act like a fit person. What does a fit person do? They drink water, they work out, they eat healthy. So I'm going to do that now. And breaking the habit of being yourself, your past self, your current you, will take time. And it is a work in progress. Again, it is something that takes a lot of discipline. Discipline is key. Discipline. But you know what discipline will give you? So much self-confidence. And the ideal version of you is self-confident. They can trust themselves. Someone who is self-confident is someone who can trust themselves. You have confidence in yourself because you say, I'm going to drink 2 liters of water today, and you drink them. Because you say, I'm going to stop smoking weed, and you stop. And these obviously will ring some bells, some alarm systems in your brain, because your brain wants to keep you in the known. The current you is the known, okay? So everything that is new, everything that exists outside of yourself, the relationship you want, the financial situation that you want and you still don't have, is unknown. So the ways in which you need to act in order to have those things that you don't have yet are unknown to your brain. And because your brain considers the unknown as unsafe, your brain will fight with you. Your ego will fight with you. Your ego is going to tell you, don't do it, don't do it. Don't go to the gym. People are going to think we are losers. People are going to see that we are not fit yet and criticize us and judge us. Let's say you want, the ideal you is a singer and you're like, okay, I signed up to go sing at this event. Your brain is going to be like, the small version of you is going to be like, no, 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 let's stay in the known. Let's stay in the known. That's too unsafe. And it will give you a million excuses. It will give you all the excuses in the world for you to not go and sing. But that's your free will. That's when you make the identity level choice of being like, no, I'm no longer the me who is stuck in fear. I'm gonna go and I'm gonna sing. And the only way for the brain to shut up and stop ringing those alarm systems of fear every time you want to be the new you is by taking action. Is by taking action. Because when you're scared of going and singing at that event, but you do it, and then you do it a second time and a third time, then the fourth time is not scary anymore because you've already done it. So I want you to notice how action is the bridge between your past self and your new self. But it is an identity level choice that you have to make every day. If you want to escape your 9 to 5, every day you have to be like, I'm no longer someone who thinks like a person who has a 9 to 5. I am someone who thinks as an entrepreneur. An entrepreneur starts their own business. So when I come back home from my 9 to 5, I'm not going to get on the couch to smoke weed. I am going to work on my new business. It is all about an identity level choice. Again, your reality is mirroring you, and your identity is the projector. Your self-concept is the projector. Change your self-concept, and you're going to start thinking how you think, and you're going to start changing how you think, feel, and act. And at some point, you're going to realize you are that new you, and your life looks completely different. Which takes me to my next point, which is you have to master your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions. This is more of what we're speaking about here. There's the past self, okay? There's ways in which your past self thinks, feels, and acts, okay? Now, your new self thinks and feels and acts completely different. If you were already thinking and feeling and acting like the ideal version of you, you would have that ideal life. You don't have it yet because you're not that person. So your job, in order to manifest, is to become that person by thinking, feeling, and acting. So you already have the vision of who you want to be. Now you have to ask yourself, how does that ideal version of me talk? How do they think? How do they feel every day? How do they act? And I want you to understand how deep this is. Mastering your thoughts, feelings, and actions. Write this down. Write this down. For example, your words, right? So the current version of you is complaining because you don't want to go to work. Oh my God, tomorrow is Monday. I hate Mondays. I hate my boss. I hate my coworkers, whatever. So you ask yourself, would the ideal version of me be complaining right now? No, because they are happy. They have a job they love. There's no reason to complain. Okay, so you stop doing it now. No, but I still don't have that life. And I don't like my current one, so I can't complain. No, because you're manifesting. Who you are being right now is manifesting your future. Start acting like you already love your job. Start feeling like you already love your job. Stop complaining. Oh, I cannot stress this enough. The more you complain, the more you manifest more reasons to complain. The Bible says, and I am not religious. If we don't know each other, I hope you know I'm not religious. I wear this because I love Jesus, but I am not religious. But the Bible says, it is not what comes into the mouth that defiles men. It's what comes out of it, because what comes out of the mouth from the heart proceeds. This means that your words matter. There's more passages in the Bible that talk about this. I don't remember them. Don Miguel Ruiz, in the famous book, The Four Agreements, which I recommend that you read if you haven't yet, it's a classic, probably the first spiritual book I've ever read. He says one of the four agreements is be impeccable with your words. Be impeccable with your words. Stop talking about stuff that you don't want to expend. I want you to think about your words like coins that you're putting in a piggy bank. So you have your piggy bank of stuff I don't want to happen anymore, and stuff I want to happen. When you're like, oh fuck, there's a lot of traffic, I hate traffic, you're putting more coins in the piggy bank of traffic and complaining. What are you going to get? At some point, you're going to break that piggy bank and all the reasons to complain will explode in your face. Stop talking about what you don't want. Stop complaining. Furthermore, stop judging. Whether out loud or in words, stop judging. Stop engaging in conversations that are just low frequency. Like the conversations of like, oh, look what that person is wearing. Oh, did you hear that this person fucked that person and cheated on this person? Gossiping. Stop. Is the ideal version of you engaging in those conversations? Most likely not. You know why? Because happy people are not focused on judging. They are focused on their own lives because their own lives are going so well and they have so much good stuff in their lives that they are focused on that. It's only miserable people who judge and gossip. It is literally only miserable people that judge and gossip. Have you ever had a 9 to 5 in corporate America or something like that? Have you noticed how the coworker that gossips the most, and judges and criticizes the most is the unhappiest one, the unhealthiest one, the one that has a shitty relationship and shitty house life? That person who is vibing high and happy and content and has a lot going on and are constantly growing, they don't have time to judge and gossip. Stop being that person. It's pathetic. Stop. All right. Words. Be impeccable with your words. This also means don't engage in conversations that are negative, as in like, everything is so dangerous, everything is so bad, things are going so bad. When you hear that type of conversation, simply say, I don't accept that. And you don't have to say it out loud because most people are just not going to understand it, especially if they are talking like that. When people are talking shit, when people are complaining, when people are gossiping, where people are criticizing, you don't have to tell them, I don't accept it, because they're not going to understand it. But you simply stay quiet, and inside to yourself, you say, I don't accept that for me or for anyone. And you don't even agree with them just to be liked, just to people please, right? Let's say you go to work on Monday and your coworkers are talking about how everything is so shitty. You don't engage in that conversation, or you don't say, oh my God, yes, and did you hear that, whatever. And you don't engage just to be liked, or just to, to relate, not even for compromise. Because again, the universe doesn't know when you're joking. Like your brain, which is creating your reality, doesn't know the difference between you're joking or you're for real. When you say things, the subconscious mind doesn't have a sense of humor. It will take it as truth. So this applies for everything. This applies for, do not agree in conversation to things that you don't want to see manifest or expand. Simply inside of you say, I don't accept that. That's not part of my reality. When someone comes and tells you, oh, it's so hard to make money these days, you don't say, oh my God, yes, just so they are content with your reaction. And then you go and you ask the universe, universe, give me more money. No, because you're not being that person. You are literally manifesting, oh, money is hard to make. I cancel that in Jesus' name. You literally say inside to yourself, I don't accept that. That's not part of my reality. That's not how reality works for me. Remember the beginning of this video, your mind creates your reality. Your words are part of your mind, okay? Your words proceed from your thoughts. Your thoughts are things. What you think about manifests. Your words are things too. When someone is saying, oh yeah, money is hard to make, or things are so bad, you literally say, I don't accept that. That's not for me. That's not part of my reality. That's not how reality works for me. In my reality, money is super easy to make. Okay? Okay, words. Another aspect of mastering your thoughts, feelings, and actions is through your habits. What do I mean by this? We go back to self-concept, who you are being. The current version of you versus the ideal version of you. You're asking yourself every day, how would my ideal self think, feel, and act? So you have to start acting like that ideal version of yourself. Meaning you have to align your habits. Aligning your habits means starting today, you eliminate all those bad, low frequency habits. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. I'm not going to sugarcoat this for you. You cannot ask the universe for abundance and health and a loving relationship when you are treating yourself like a piece of trash. And I am not going to sugarcoat this. You want life to treat you kindly and to give you money and abundance and beautiful, shiny things, and you treat yourself like shit by drinking, doing drugs, not working out, waking up late, smoking cigarettes, you name it, watching trash TV, because the content you consume is part of your mental diet, okay? Watching corn, same thing, your mental diet. Having lots of loveless sex, dating a lot of people just for the hell of it, like giving away your energy as if it was candy, letting anyone access your body, your temple, letting anyone just access your temple, step all over it. The exchange of energy that happens in sex is wild. And you're just letting anyone in. Again, I'm not judging you here, and I don't care what you do. I'm talking from experience. I used to be someone who did most of those things. I used to be someone who would just date for the sake of dating and going out on dates and then sleeping with that person that I just met, and next day another person. I was so unhappy. My results, the mirror of my life, reflected back at me a life that was according to how I was treating myself. So what I'm saying by mastering your habits is, if you want life to treat you kindly, you have to treat yourself kindly. Another important aspect of this is understanding that when you treat yourself bad, you are not a good person. Being a good person doesn't just mean treating others well. It also means treating yourself well, because you are someone. You matter, in case no one told you. So why do you think it's okay to treat yourself like shit? To get up and look at yourself in the mirror and be like, oh my God, I'm so ugly. I'm so fat. Would you tell those things to your kid or to your nephew or to your best friend? No. Then why do you say those things to yourself? Look at your self-talk and stop asking the universe to give you better when you are not willing to give yourself better, because you are co-creating with the universe, and the universe will do its part when you do yours. So do your part of treating yourself better if you want the universe to treat you better. If you want to receive better from the universe, give yourself better. Stop talking shit about yourself. Stop talking shit about your life. Stop making yourself small. Stop making yourself small. Even to be liked by others, right? To sound humble. I know, yeah, I look so bad today. Or someone compliments your hair. No, I look awful. I hate my hair. I cancel that. Shut up. Then don't be so arrogant to ask the universe for more when you cannot even give yourself a kind word. It is not nice for you to treat yourself bad. It doesn't make you a better person, and it is not humble at all. Okay? That is being mean. Don't confuse being humble with being mean to yourself. It is not allowed for you to be mean to yourself. Stop thinking that the only meanness that counts is when it's towards others. And this includes, for example, if you're drinking soda every day, if you're smoking cigarettes but drinking soda, if you are every day giving yourself Mountain Dew for lunch and for dinner, realize that you're not treating yourself right. I don't know how to tell you this. Would you give a plant or a baby or your dog Dr. Pepper every day? Then why do you give it to yourself? Why do you think that you don't matter? Because it's not that Dr. Pepper, you shouldn't drink it because it's going to make you fat because it has a lot of sugar. No, it's full of shit. Nourish yourself. Love yourself through your actions too. In fact, Stop saying, yes, I love myself when you are every day eating like trash. Love yourself for real. You can do it. Stop looking for excuses. You're not a victim. Decide to change today. Okay? So you master your words, you master your habits, master your environment. This is important. Okay. The moment that you stop being the old you and start identity shifting and start becoming the new self, you need to understand that your environment will fall apart. And that is an amazing thing. In fact, your environment is killing you. Your environment is killing you. That friend that goes out with you and tells you, come on, just have another shot. Come on, have another shot. Come on, smoke a J. It's one J. Come on, do a line. That's not your friend. Okay? The moment you start changing and no longer want to engage in gossip conversations, or you no longer want to talk shit about others, or you no longer want to talk about who slept with who and why, or you no longer want to go partying, yeah, some people are gonna fall apart. In fact, your most important relationships may fall apart. Maybe your partner is like, we don't click anymore. Or sometimes when you start changing, the universe is like, oh yes, they are changing. Let's give them a better life. And in order for that new life to grow, the current life has to fall apart, and that's a good thing. So when you start evolving, what the universe will do sometimes it will make your partner make a mistake. Maybe your partner cheats, your partner does something, like they make a mistake, okay? But understand that the moment, life is a mirror again, okay? You have the image and you have the reflection. This is the cause, you, your mind, and this is the effect, your life. The moment you start changing, then your life will start changing. That's a good thing. Your life includes your current job. It includes your current living situation. It includes your current partner. It includes your friends. Understand that the moment you start aligning, meaning being congruent with that ideal version of you, the image in front of the mirror is changing, and therefore the reflection of the mirror will change as well, and that is a good thing. When things start falling apart, that is a sign that you are breaking with the old identity that was keeping you stuck. And you may not see it yet, but at some point, new people are going to come in and better things are going to come in. But in order for those better things to come in, you have to make space. So allow your environment, your friendships, your relationships to change. In fact, as you start becoming the ideal you, be aware of proactively eliminating from your life the people who don't serve you. And by the people who don't serve you, I don't mean people who don't give you things that your ego wants. That's not what I mean. I mean the people who are keeping you stuck in your old identity, the people who make you feel limited, the people who make you feel small, the people who instill fear in you, that you're like, you know what, I want to try whatever. I want to try writing a book. And they're like, who's gonna read it? But you cannot make money writing a book, right? The people with that small mentality that keep you stuck, the people who are like insisting you to go party and to go drinking, the people who are like, oh, just skip the gym today, the people who, you know, who are keeping you stuck in that old version of you, because you're here to expand. And you cannot hold yourself where you're at and keep yourself small simply to keep other people in your life. There's people that are not going to up level with you. There's people who are not trying to level up, and that's okay. Let them. But you have to have your focus on this, on the ideal you. Because if you don't have your focus here and align your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your conversations, your words, your habits to that, then you will continue staying where you're at. with the level of happiness that you have now. If you want better, you have to do better. And once you start receiving better, what is not good enough will fall. Let it. Okay, and that's for mentality. The next step, fifth step, is establish a relationship with the universe. What do I mean by this? You start changing your mentality, which creates your reality. I hope you understand by now that your personality creates your personal reality. In order to create a new personal reality, aka a new life, you have to change who you are, your identity, and become someone new, aligned with that ideal version of yourself. Now, you are asking the universe for your manifestations, right? As you are doing your part of the job, which is changing, you are also asking your partner in this, your creative co-director, you're asking for help from the universe. Now, you cannot be saying, universe, please get me a car. Universe, I am aligning with the version of me that has a car, give me a car. If you're going to ask the universe, you have to have the decency to establish a relationship with it, okay? Imagine that you have a friend and you're constantly asking them for stuff, but then you never check in with them, you never thank them when they give you something, you never talk to them other than to ask for stuff. They are not going to be very willing to help you. So establish a relationship with this higher power, God, or the universe, or the source, or divine intelligence, however you want to call it. This benevolent higher power loves you so much, and it loves when you thank it for things. Thank for a new day, thank for your current abundance, thank for your current situation. Okay, remember, what you focus on expands, so gratitude matters. Establish also a relationship with this higher power. I'm gonna call it God, you call it whatever you want. Establish a relationship with God, because you will gain insight and intuition through connecting more. If you are just asking for stuff, it's not going to be very effective. But if you're establishing a relationship with God and putting God first, or the universe, and putting your relationship with this higher power first through prayer and meditation, you will start getting insights. You will be more sensitive to intuitive insights and downloads. So you're going to have more info. It's like you're going to receive more information from this higher intelligence, as in where to go, who to talk to, what decision to make, where to invest, when to say that thing. You know what I'm saying? Your intuition will open up the more you connect with this divine intelligence. It's like you have to think of this divine intelligence as a super, super smart quantum computer that you have available for you, and you can use it. You can literally talk to it and establish a relationship and ask for its opinion. But God will not talk to you just out of nowhere, because God is like a gentleman. He's not gonna open the door of your house and walk in if you don't invite him, because you have free will. So you have to use your free will to connect with God, to talk to God every day in prayer, and then shut up and listen in meditation. So that's why there's a P and an M here. Prayer and meditation are two keys if you want to manifest. You have to pray every day in order to cultivate your relationship with higher power, which I call God. And to me, it's important because when I started learning about law of attraction and manifestation and New Age spirituality, I was kind of like reluctant to calling it God, because I was against religion, because I just, don't agree with fear-based teachings and hypocrisy. So I was kind of like, I'm not religious. So I thought, I used to think God equal religion. Now I understood that that's not the case, that we all carry God inside. We all carry God inside, and religion is not going to take God away from me. So now I feel very free to call the universe God, and I don't really pray to the universe. I pray to God and I have a relationship with God and I put God first. This thing about putting God first and establishing a relationship with God is important. You know why? Because putting God first means embodying God every day. And embodying God simply means it's nothing religious. It simply means asking yourself, what would love do? Because God is love. So it's like, what would love do in this case, in this situation? How can I be more loving in this situation? How can I look at this situation through the eyes of love? And again, your mind creates your reality. So when you change your perspective, you change your reality. You know what miracles are? Miracles are shifts in perception. So in a situation where you would have normally looked at it as in, I'm a victim and my coworker is an asshole and they are screwing me up, you are now looking at it from the eyes of love. How would love react? How would the most loving, ideal version of me react? The abundant version of me, how would they react? The most abundant, the healthiest, the happiest, the most grateful version of me. What would love do? Okay? So I understood that God is love and God is inside me. And when I started putting God first, again, when you put God first, you embody God, because God comes kind of like with a set of instructions, which is you're not gonna lie, you're not gonna kill, you're not gonna cheat, you're not gonna abuse, you're not gonna act from fear, right? So if you're not acting according to the God way, the godly way of doing things, then God is not gonna give you what you want. God is kind of like, think of oxygen. Think of oxygen. I can say, yes, I believe in oxygen. And I can pray oxygen to give me life. But if I don't take a breath, I'm gonna die. It's not useful. Oxygen is out there and I believe in it. But if I don't act accordingly and breathe, do my part of the deal, oxygen is not going to be able to keep me alive. Same happens with a GPS. I can go and put the address in the GPS, but if I get on the car, put the address in the GPS, and then start driving wherever I want and I don't follow the instructions, it's not that the GPS doesn't work. It's just that I am not being obedient. So there's no way that the GPS can take me where I want to go because I have the free will to choose whether I follow the GPS instructions or not. And the same thing happens with God. Okay? So with God, God tells you, pray, pray, pray. Pray unceasingly. Do not worry about anything. Instead, pray about everything. What does this mean? This means that when something happens, instead of worrying and getting anxious, I give it to God. God, I give you these worries. This fear is attacking me. I don't want it. I give it to you. Please help me see things differently. That's how you change your mind to manifest something different. Remember, reality is a mirror. You create reality through your mind. So when you are asking God for help, this is important. When you're asking the universe for help, you need to know how to ask. Stop asking the universe to give you that car. Ask the universe to make you be the person who can get that car. That is how the universe works. The universe is not Santa, that you ask for something and it will appear under your Christmas tree. Okay? The universe works through your mind. What does the Bible say? In fact, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Then you have the verse that says, in order to enter the kingdom of God, you have to be born again. What does this all mean? It all means that you have to change who you are being, your identity, your self-concept, the way you think, the way you feel, the way you act. The universe will give you what you want through the changing of your own mind. It is not magic that happens out there, because the out there, in fact, doesn't exist. It's an illusion. Everything that you want to materialize in your life will happen through the transforming of your mind, of how you see things, of your thinking, of your own transformation. That's why when you pray, you have to pray to be transformed. Please, God, take over my mind, transform me, renew me, show me wherever my mind has strayed away from love. Please guide me back to love. I am willing to see this differently. Amen. That is how you create miracles. Because miracles are changes in your own perception. Because it is your perception that creates reality. What you're looking at is a result. Again, we saw it earlier. What you're looking at is an effect of the cause of your mind. If you want to change the effect, change the cause. So you have to ask God, God, show me how to see this differently. Because when what's creating your reality doesn't change, matter won't change. Even if it changes, it will not last. That's why people win the lottery and then they are broke again. Okay, because the 3D changed, but their mind didn't change, so they went broke again because they couldn't hold that manifestation. Have you ever manifested something that you couldn't hold? Because your mind didn't really change. You have to change your own field, your own programming, okay? Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. Ask God to transform you, to purify you. Whatever you're seeing in your reality that you don't like is an effect of agreements that you made with thoughts of that sort, okay? So let's say you see illness in your reality, health problems. Okay, what are the thoughts, the originating thoughts that caused those health problems? So you have to ask yourself, what agreements did I make with physical vulnerability, or with illness, or with self-hate, or with there's something wrong with me? Okay? Look at the agreements that you make. Agreements, what I mean by agreements is thoughts that you chose to believe as true and they became your core beliefs. That's why we say your core beliefs create your reality. Okay? Because your reality is not fixed. Your reality is something that you're choosing from an infinite field of possibilities. Let me show you something. Your current reality is not the only possibility that exists. In reality, infinite versions of your life and of you exist at the same time in the quantum field. But you have a certain core beliefs. Your core beliefs are what we were just talking about, okay? Like thoughts that you chose to believe as true. This can look like money is hard to make, there is something wrong with me. This happens to people who grew up in religious households. They grow up in a religion that tells them about God through fear, which, by the way, when someone teaches you about God through fear, they are not speaking about God. God is not fear, God is not judgment, God is not punishment. Whoever taught you about God by telling you about you will be punished because there's something wrong with you, they were not talking about God. The smartest thing that the enemy did was to sneak into religion, because now religion teaches about the enemy, doesn't teach about God. Okay, so let's say you have a core belief of there's something wrong with me. So because your mind creates your reality, your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are according to your core belief. Your core belief is there's something wrong with me. So your thoughts, your feelings, and your actions are creating a certain frequency, and that frequency, like a radio antenna, tunes in to a version of reality. So there's a version of your life in the quantum field where you're healthy and you have amazing relationships. There's a version where you are poor and sick. There's a version where you're rich and sick. All realities exist at the same time. Your frequency, like an antenna, is tuning into one version of that reality, and it is materializing it into your 3D, into your life, and that's what you call your life. So when you're looking in your life at something that you don't like, such as an illness, you have to ask yourself, what agreement did I make with a belief that would choose that version of reality from the quantum field. And then you realize, oh, I remember I spent years thinking there's something wrong with me. And now my body said yes, because the universe always says yes, not to what you want, but to what you believe, to your frequency. So my frequency was, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me, there's something wrong with me. So now the universe said yes, and now there is something wrong with me. My body created an illness. And you can undo, because what your mind creates, it can also undo. You are the creator. Now you can undo that illness, that condition or situation through releasing that belief. But you have to recognize it first, okay? That's when you ask God for help. First, you ask God for help to understand what is the originating thought of that condition or situation. And once you see it, you have the opportunity to atone, to repent. God, I repent. I cut cords. I cut cords with that belief in Jesus' name, or however you want to pray. I cut cords with that belief. I no longer identify with that belief. I choose another belief instead. I am healthy. And you command your mind, I am healthy. I am healthy. I am healthy. And you repeat that to yourself, which takes me to my next and last step, which is visualization and affirmations. Affirmations work. Your brain learns by repetition. Repeat to your brain that which you want to create at the same time as you stop talking about the things that you don't want to manifest, okay? It doesn't make sense to wake up and repeat 5 affirmations and then spend the whole day talking shit, okay? Be impeccable with your words and repeat the affirmations. I am healthy. I am healthy. I am healthy. My body loves me. My body is smart. All of my cells are happy. Talk to your body. Talk to your body, talk to your cells, talk to your organs, to your tissues. I love you. Thank you. Thank you for what you do every day. You're getting better. I know you can do it. Come on, we're in this together. Talk to your body like it's your friend. Your body listens. Your body has consciousness. Okay. Affirmations and visualization. This is the very last step. I want you to see how visualization and affirmations are so important, but they are the last step. You know why? Because if you visualize and affirm every day, people on TikTok are like, no, visualization doesn't work. I tried it. It doesn't work. No, it doesn't work. If you don't do steps 1 through 5, step 6 on its own, it's not going to work. It may work here and there for something, but it's not going to change your life. Okay? Because you have to stop reacting to your conditions, become a creator, responsible creator of your reality instead of a victim. Understand that your reality is a mirror of your mind. Have a vision, know yourself in a clear direction, in a burning desire of becoming that new you. An identity shift your identity into that new you, which means every day you will master your thoughts and your feelings and your actions. You will be impeccable with your words. You will not engage in self-destructive habits. You will have healthy habits, abundant person habits. You will change your environment. You're not going to keep hanging out with people who bring you down. You will establish a good spirituality, a good relationship with the divine, with your co-creator, with your partner in this life. You're going to establish a good relationship with divinity that is co-creating your life with you, with that divine magnet that you have that is literally magnetizing things for you. You're going to establish a good relationship with your intuition, with God, which exists in you. Stop ignoring it. It's like you have a magic wand inside you and you're not using it. Establish a relationship with God and put Him first and obey His word. Be disciplined. Stop asking the universe for things when you are not acting according to universal laws, okay? Stop asking the universe for things when you are embodying all of the energies that you don't want to see manifested in your life. If you want to be abundant, stop acting like a stingy person. If you want a loving, healthy, respectful relationship, stop engaging with people who disrespect you and treat you like trash. If you want to be healthy, stop treating your body like a trash can and giving it whatever. Be congruent. And use visualization and affirmations. Visualize every day yourself winning, your ideal self, the manifestation. Visualization will help you because it's mental rehearsal. It gives your brain kind of like proof. It puts your brain in the feelings of the wish fulfilled. That's why when you visualize, you have to use your five senses. So let's say that you want to visualize that new car. You're going to imagine yourself getting in the new car, touching the leather, touching the steering wheel, the smell of the new car. You're going to listen to the music that you're going to listen while you're driving that new car. Connecting with the five with the senses, with the sensations of having it, will tell your body that it already happened. And when you tell your subconscious mind that it already happened, it has no choice but to create it. So see yourself in visualization. See yourself in situations that would happen as a result of you obtaining that wish fulfilled. For example, when I wanted to quit my past job and start working as a content creator and mentor, I used to see myself telling my yoga students, okay guys, I quit because my TikTok blew up, and now I used to see that scene where I was quitting. And then, I kid you not, that exact scene happened because my TikTok blew up. I started getting a lot of private clients, and I had to quit my job. And I had to tell them exactly the way I imagined it. So imagine yourself, put yourself in that situation where you are, that happened as a result of you obtaining your manifestation. Feel all of the feelings, get in the emotions. Connect with your heart and get in the emotions of that already happening. And then throughout your day, visualize in the morning and at night, right before you're falling asleep and as soon as you wake up. Why? Because those are the moments where your brain is in alpha, which means it is more susceptible to suggestion, okay? It's like a different brain state, brain wave. So visualize morning at night, connect with the feelings of the wish fulfilled, use your five senses to see and touch and smell and hear the things that you would see and touch and smell and hear once that happens, teaching your body emotionally what it feels to have that again and again every day. And then throughout your day, use your affirmations all day. In the morning while you brush your teeth, while you're driving, while you're having a conversation that you don't want to engage with because it's a toxic conversation. So instead of engaging, you're saying your affirmations. You're saying, I don't accept that for me. Everything always works out for me. Actually, money is easy to make in my reality. Blah, blah, blah. 5, if you do all of these steps, you will quantum jump. Your life will transform like magic. It will be amazing. But the best part of this is not even that you're going to get your manifestation or change your life. You want to know what the best part of all of this is? Is the relationship with the divine. Because once you establish a relationship with the divine, you will not care about anything else. About the person, about the car, about the house, about the job. You will be so fulfilled that nothing in your outside world will be that important, because the only thing that your happiness depends on is your connection with the divine. And that is wholeness. And once you feel so abundant because of your connection with the divine, external abundance will happen as a result. But that's a topic for another video. For now, you have a lot to work on. I love you, and I'll see you soon.